Okay, game 2, and we are back with the standard interface, because I just prefer it, to be honest. We're on Blackpink here. This is XY in the top right. Let me get the name bar up, open the production tab, and XYFusion is our Zerg player, of course, who is currently 1 up. Over on the bottom left, Glardwin, if that's how we're saying that. Glardwin is our Terran player on this map. And in the last game, yeah, the Zerg put on some early pressure that maybe dented him a bit, and both players were pretty slow to expand. Glardwin made some good units, but didn't really have them in the right position for the engagement when it came, and the Zerg was able to bust up the ramp and kill him in the end. So let's see how it goes in this map. It's a slightly different layout, but they're not dissimilar really. You've got a single expand that is relatively easy to secure, small ramp into your base, wide ramp into your expo, all pretty standard stuff. No double paths into the expo, no pocket expand or anything like that. So not wildly different maps. A lot of open spaces in the middle of the map, especially if you break down these rocks, which can be good for Zerg if they find Terran units out in the middle of the map. XY getting an earlier expand than he did in the last game, and I like that. I think it's earlier, isn't it? Yeah, it definitely is. I think it was. I can have vague memories of being close to the 3-minute mark in the last game with no expo. And the spawning pool is done, and the gas is mining, so things looking pretty crisp, to be honest, from XYFusion. Hopefully he's got an overlord in production. He hasn't, so he's just about to supply block himself, but there's the overlord going now. Meanwhile, we do have a walled off ramp this time from Glardwin. Bit unusual to do it entirely with depots, but it doesn't really matter. Engineering bay being built relatively early, so he'll be able to get some upgrades going from that. But Glardwin, the most important upgrades for your Marines are the ones that come from the tech lab on the barracks. Overwhelmingly, combat shield is huge. It's way more important than armor here. Armor is +1. Combat shield turns your Marines from 45 health units into 55 health units. That's a big percentage change. Yeah, so it's an important upgrade, as is stim. The damage output from your Marines, Marauders is so much higher when they are stimmed. So the speed upgrade being researched at the spawning pool for XY, and a couple of lings are out. Let's just see where they're off to. Looks like they are going to head out onto the map. No, just going to stop at the top of the ramp, and that's okay. Roach Warren just about to finish up for the Zerg, a factory just about to finish up for the Terran. So both of these players already kind of indicating the tech paths that they're going for. The Zerg player, pretty similar to last time, did build a Roach Warren, and then did push with sort of Roaches and Ravagers, and it was effective. It wasn't a killing blow, but managed to kind of reset the Marine count, managed to certainly deny the expo, and do a bit of hurt. So, this base not yet saturated, and no sign of expanding from the Terran player. Again, there's an overlord here that could easily be sniped. So XY likes to put these here, and I'm not sure about that positioning, because if you lose that XY, you're supply blocked again, and you might find yourself having to wait. I'd rather it over here, where it can sort of use the terrain to get away from Marines or whatever if it does get spotted. So this time Hellions being built, and Hellions are really effective against Lings, very effective indeed against Zerglings, so that's not a bad choice. They're also incredibly effective against workers. These do basically bonus damage against anything light. So the engineering bay is researching +1 weapons, which is great. This Reaper is he's going to go and have a good time, or at the very least go and have a look around. He's going to have to be a little bit careful. If he tries to get up the main ramp, he'll get one-shotted, and he won't get very far at all. But if he's a little bit circumspect and a little bit sneaky, I'm sure he can find his way into the base. I don't know. There's no kind of Reaper step up here. Oh no, he did die. They used to kind of... Oh, there is a Reaper step. Is that a Reaper step? Maybe not. Maybe not, I'm not sure. On a lot of the older maps, when they first brought out Reapers, it became quite a sort of fashionable thing for there to be, you know, the base would be is 2 levels higher than this level. This is 1 level higher. This is 2 level higher, and the Reapers can only jump a single level. So there's quite a lot of maps that had a sort of a little tiny little patch here so that Reapers could jump up and into the base at some point. I'm not sure if that is such a thing right there or not. I don't often play Reapers, to be honest, because I just don't like them. Yeah, so I'm not even sure. I don't think it is. I don't remember playing any games on this map and having Reapers suddenly appear in behind me. Maybe somebody will let me know. Anywho, it looks like the expand is coming down. He must know about this Overlord now. I'd like to see him go and kill it. He's got a couple of bunkers. This one in a slightly odd position. I'm not sure, you know, the range of Marines units would have to be right underneath this for that to be within range, but not to worry. Looks like he is going to come down here and chase this away. So oh no, he's moving on onto the map with these. Needs to be a bit careful if he is kind of going for a push, because the Hellions move just so much faster than everything else that your army will get very separated. And Hellions, while they're great against Lings, they're also incredibly squishy and they're terrible against Roaches. So, no, don't stand and fight that. You lose this fight, you lose this straight away. But do turn around and shoot the Lings, because that's what happens to Lings, which is fantastic. So, you know, bit the Lings out by all means, but you know, there isn't enough terrain here. He needs to move out of the way of these corrosive baths. They're kind of relatively standard micro. You know, when you see the corrosive piles go up, you have to move your units out of the way of them, split them if you can, but even without splitting, just move them back or move them forwards. Make sure those corrosive piles don't land on them, because they do a lot of damage, and it's splash damage as well, and it's extremely bad for things like Marines. So you've got to be dodging those corrosive piles. If you can snipe the Ravager while the corrosive pile is in the air, I think it cancels it. I'm pretty sure, but not 100% even. Yeah, but don't just stand still under them. Now, here we have 3 upgrades happening at once for the Terran. There are tech labs coming down, for the Zerg. There are tech labs coming down for the Terran, so hopefully we are going to see these stim and combat shield upgrades. He did build tech labs last time on the racks, but I didn't see any Marauders. And Marauders fare much better against these types of units. You know, Marauders are incredibly tough, and they deal quite a lot of damage, so they do well against things like Roaches. I mean, you wouldn't necessarily want just Marauders ever, but having a few mixed in with your Marines really adds longevity. The high damage output of the Marauder makes them a bit of a target, and their toughness, their armoured units, means that they soak up a lot of fire, and they just mean that your whole army just lasts longer. So finally this Overlord is going to get chased away or killed perhaps, having dropped a little bit of creep on the mineral line here, and now he's just dropped his guts. And look, XYFusion is indeed supply blocked as that happens, and he's got to wait quite a long time for this Overlord to build, so you know, that's a little frustrating. Okay, looks like Hive Tech is coming up here, so once this Hive finishes, that will allow for level 3 upgrades. It will allow for the adrenal glands upgrade for Zerglings. It will also allow for things like a greater spire and an Ultralos cavern and those types of things. Do you need a Hive for Ultra caverns? I think you do. So yeah, they're quite advanced in the tech tree to be essentially only on 2 bases. You know, the 3rd is up, but only 4 workers right there. Yeah, so XYFusion, you know, with quite a lot of tech, he's got sort of a little bit of everything. He's got the Spire, he's got the Ultra Cavern coming down, these 3 Evos, twin I think that's just a mistake. I think he's accidentally built a pair of infestation pits because he's not researching any upgrades from them. And that's okay. I wouldn't mind seeing a few infestors in this game, to be honest. Infestors can be really effective against things like marines because you can land the fungal on them, which no longer freezes them in position, but it slows them, and then the marines can no longer dodge the corrosive bars. So infestors can be fantastic. Again, this positioning, I don't like it. If something appears here, what are you going to do? Are you just going to let this die, or are you going to walk down your own ramp and get shredded? Don't leave your stuff up here. This is your front line now. Now that you've expanded, this is the area you need to protect. So siege tanks in sieged up positions, maybe a bunker at the front, maybe not, but protect this ramp, because otherwise stuff comes up here and has at this, and you need to file your units down here in single file, and they just get killed, as we saw last time, and it's not nice. They get in each other's way, etc. Now there is a nuke in here ready to go. This is a nuclear missile silo right now. The nuke has been built. These ghosts, what is this? What is this now researching? What even is that? Because ghosts have got auto cloak these days, don't they? They automatically have cloak. Oh, that's energy, extra starting energy. Okay. Anyway, these ghosts can cloak and can drop a nuke at any time. It looks like these armies are going to meet in the middle. So let's see the siege tanks sieged up, please. Doesn't look like they're going to be. Let's see the ghosts cloaked, and let's see the nuke come down. Nuke, please. Nuke, 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 nuke. Where's the nuke? Where is it? It's too late. It's ages after it should have been, and it's not even going to land because the ghost that was painted the target is dead. I am deeply disappointed. Is there another nuke being built? There is. There's a ghost up. Glardwin, you've got to remember that you can cloak the ghosts. If you cloak them, they're not going to get shot. Now the ghost is cloaked, but you don't actually have a nuke ready to go. And I don't think, ghosts are pretty good units, but I don't think this one ghost is going to kill all that stuff, to be honest. I don't think that's going to occur. Not really. Oh, and there is mobile detection, so the ghost actually needs to just run about like a loon in the hope that he can survive. He should try and snipe the mobile detection if he can. Pick that off. Yeah. But this just... It's quite reminiscent, really, of... Oh, here we go. Yay! It's never going to land, though. I don't know what happens to the nuke if you kill the ghost. It just goes into orbit or something. It never comes back down again. Maybe it's in outer space. Maybe it's just doing orbits around the planet or something, waiting for a ghost to call it down. I don't know. Yeah, well, Glardwin, not overly happy, but to be honest, the two games were very, very similar indeed. Glardwin slightly caught out of position in the middle of the map, didn't siege up the siege tanks, didn't cloak the ghosts. So yeah, mistakes were made. A couple of mistakes were made. I just wasn't quite able to match XYFusion's macro and have a big enough army to just take the fight in the middle. So there we have it. GG. XYFusion wins with 2-0. Boom. Happy New Year.